So when I was a kid, I don't know, like 12, 11, something like that, I discovered Sailor Moon, right? Discovered the anime, which was the 90s anime, from people talking about it in school and everything. I decided to watch it and I loved the cartoon. Then I decided to read the first comic, and after that, or the first manga, whatever you want to call it. And after that, I didn't really pick it up until years later. So I'm currently reading volume 12 right now. I also read one of these short story. There's like a couple mangas that are like short story collections or whatever. I read one of those, and then I need to read the other one and obviously finish this. But I got to thinking, I don't know if Sailor Moon is going to stay a favorite. Like, I still love the characters and everything. I don't know if it's gonna stay a favorite manga slash anime. I'm more interested in reading mangas right now, and I'll go to the animes later. But having read a little bit of some other ones, and some I have to reread because there's been kind of some time in between. Like I said, I just don't know if this one is gonna stay a favorite. Like, I love the characters and everything, and it's got pretty artwork and everything. But I just feel out of the little bit of the others that I've read, they have better stories, more interesting stories. And yes, while they still have magical things, I feel some of them aren't as over the top as some of this stuff is. Now, as somebody that wants to write a story that is a mix of different mythologies and stories and stuff, because I plan on writing a YA fantasy novel, and obviously a lot of fantasy is heavily inspired by different mythologies, but I didn't want to go the route of just Greek mythology like a lot of people use. There will be some things that will show up in there, like I'm going to have people that like own a Pegasus and stuff. I have that planned out. But I also wanted to do things like Celtic mythology and Kemetic mythology, Slavic mythology, stuff like that, right? So it's taken a while to compile everything because there's much research to do because I want to be respectful of different peoples and cultures and stuff. And also have my own ideas in there. And character development. So Sailor Moon does have quite an interesting mix, and it can get kind of confusing, especially when it comes to Saturn and Pluto and that whole mythology thing there, because like Pluto is the god of the underworld, not the god of time. But I think there is something within Japanese mythology that is mixed in there, and that's why Pluto is like the time guardian. I'll have to look that up again. It's a little confusing because they use a lot of like the, I guess you would say, Greco-Roman um, things, ideals in some of the character descriptions and stuff, like her mom being like the goddess of the moon and stuff, meaning Sailor Moon and stuff. So, um, I feel that some of the stories, the segments in these are a little too short. I didn't care for Sailor Moon as a character in like the original anime. She's very whiny, but I still enjoyed her character. Like I said, I love Sailor Moon. I just don't know if I like it as much as an adult. as I did when I was younger. Some of the other mangas that I've started to read, and when I mean started to read, I've gotten up to like volume 3 or 4. Some just one. So I read the first volume in Inuyasha. I've watched a lot of the episodes. It's been a while since I've seen it though. I didn't complete the series, but I've seen a lot of the Inuyasha episode. And honestly, I think Inuyasha as an anime was kind of more interesting than Sailor Moon. Read, I think 3 of Fairy Tail. I think I'm just going to go back and reread them because, again, it's been a while. And 2 of Bleach. And 1 of Attack on Titan. So, like, the 4 of these just, again, seem to be a little bit more interesting. And I was kind of sad because it's like, I like Sailor Moon, I like the powers, they're all interesting. You know, the anime is really well done. But, like I said, I just don't think it's going to be a favorite, and I think that's okay. Like, I'm growing as a manga person, right? I haven't decided if I want to pick just one of those 4 and just read at least half the series before I start another one. Because I feel it's going to be a long time because there's so many volumes in some of these. I think Fairy Tail and Attack on Titan has, I think, over 40. At least over 40. I have a feeling that Fairy Tail and Attack on Titan, depending on how the stories go, will probably be my most read. Because just something about those plots and the characters so far seem really interesting and fun. I feel like Attack on Titan is going to be like my bleak, dark read, and Fairy Tail is going to be the lighter one from what I've read so far. But anyways, yeah, that is just, I don't know, a little manga talk, because I don't talk about manga that much.